Yes, hello again. Good to have you with us for the first Game of Two Halves of the new season. We are back after the Christmas break, so unlike Fox Sports, you didn't miss any of the key moments over the festive period. Get away. Anyway, thanks for all of your praise for our pilot episode. We are thrilled to earn Merrick type levels by your encouragement, and over the next half an hour or so, we'll try to keep you mildly entertained with a battle of brains against banter, interspersed with more gags so lame they could feature on an episode of the B-League. Just kidding, guys. All jokes, folks, all jokes. Let's kick off the show better than the A-League season launch and take a look at what has been making the news in Australian football. New Year's Eve finally saw clubs take ownership of the A and W leagues, the new body immediately sticking to their New Year's resolution and stripping the Newcastle Jets licence from owner Martin Lee, so that A-League clubs, including Western Sydney Wanderers, could take ownership of the Jets. Well, after taking Carl Robinson, Kenny Miller and Bernie Abini from Newcastle and lining up Steven Ugarkovic, the Wanderers clearly found it much easier to just save time and take control of the whole club instead. Who says we need a transfer system anyway? Now, moving swiftly on, let's introduce you to our two teams tonight. It is fitting that the screen containing Melissa Barbieri sits on a bench, as that's where she spends most of her match time these days. Along Melissa for the Bubsy Babes is a man who has left football behind to concentrate on banking. Oh, sorry, that's not a typo. Yes, it's the former Mariners boss, here to add some gloss, and he simply don't give a toss. It's the one and only Phil Moss. Representing the Jamo Tarts, skipper Scott Jamieson, who doesn't turn 33 until October this year, so he was rather surprised to receive a couple of early cards this weekend. Alongside Jamo is Jenna McCormick, a dual coder who mysteriously gave up the opportunity to play a whopping 9 games of AFLW a season to pursue a spot at the Olympics, the Asian Cup and the Women's World Cup on home soil in 3 years' time. Bizarre. She has just returned home from a spell in Spain with Real Betis, who play second fiddle in their city to Sevilla, so she'll feel right at home with her new club, Melbourne City. Those are our teams. If you'd like to support our show, then please buy us a coffee if you are so inclined. The address is at the bottom of the screen, and all contributions will go to making this show at least half watchable. Thanks. Well, from here on in, it's for points. We start with 4-4 fucking 2. We will show you 4 things with something in common, but there is an odd one out. First up, we want wrong answers only, with a point for the most creative. But there's another point on offer for anyone who can then go on and actually spot the real answer. Let's go. So here is our first one. 4 recent Melbourne City players: Harrison Delbridge, Jamo, Jamie McLaren and Craig Noon. Who is the odd one out? Tell us your best wrong answer, please. Melissa, you're first.
Oh, it's got to be hairstyle. So it's got to be Jamo, because I don't think he's the only one that has he's probably got a decent haircut out of all of them at the moment. Delbridge has his hair in a ponytail. I'm actually giving him a compliment, yes. Yeah, you're not confused. I'm giving Jamo a compliment with, Delbridge has probably got the worst man bun I've ever seen at the moment. Not in this photo, though. So I'm going Jamo with proper haircut.
That's a very comprehensive answer, Bubs. Jamo, you got a response to that?
In regards to Bubs' compliment?
Or just any comment in general, really?
Well, no, she's spot on. Obviously, I have a great head of hair and she spotted it from the start. But my answer to that is I'm going to say I'm the odd one out, because my partner's not nagging and those 3 have a nagging partner. So therefore, I'm the odd one out, because my missus isn't a nagger.
Well, Mr. Politically Correct for the 21st century, Scott Jamieson. Jenna, you seem an apt person to respond to that.
I'll go for an actual legitimate answer here, but also funny for the recent events of last weekend with Jamo, but McLaren being the odd one out. Everyone else has now joined the Red Card Club.
Ooh, you might be in the right areas there. What about Mossy? Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I thought Jamo was in enough trouble this week, but slagging off teammates' partners, that's going to get him more than a red card. But no, I think Jamo is the odd one out, because he's probably the only veteran among the 4, as in you mentioned his birthday coming up, 33rd birthday later this year, Simon. So he's the only veteran amongst the 4.
But he's still got a baby face. Nice answers, everybody. That's an easy point, I reckon, for Jenna. But can anyone tell us the correct answer?
Maybe Nooney, because he's English and the other three are Australian.
It's correct, but it's not the answer we're looking for. Anybody else?
I am going to go with Delbridge, being the odd one out who doesn't have an English or British passport.
Okay, well, I think we had that answer already. Actually, Jenna was probably the closest. Our odd one out is actually Jamie McLaren, who's the only one of those four who hasn't been sent off against Adelaide United whilst playing for Melbourne City, unlike his Red Mist teammates. So a point to Jenna McCormick. The only thing to go off quicker in Adelaide than Jamo on the weekend was the power in the statewide blackout of 2016. Scott, our stats say that was your first red card in the A-League. Is that true? Yeah,
it was, Simon, unfortunately. It was my first and my last, I can guarantee that.
It's a different story, though, for Harrison Delbridge. He saw a lot of red cards last season. Anyone know how many reds he got during his 3 seasons at Melbourne City? There's a point on offer.
3.
Congratulations, Phil Moss. 3 of which were all in the 2019-20 season, and 2 of them were actually against Western United. Now for the next set of 4, let's bring them up. So this is Roy O'Donovan, Mohamed Toure, Martin Lee, and Josh Rawlins. We're looking for the odd one out. Let's hear your best wrong answers. There's a point for creativity here. Phil Moss, you're up first.
Martin Lee's the odd one out because the other 3 have been spotted in the last 18 months.
That's a good answer. Jenna, any advancement on that?
I'm just going to be brutally honest here and say that I am not familiar with any of them except for...
With any of them? Terrific. Bubs, what about you?
I'm going to go with Martin Lee because he's probably got the most money out of all of them.
Well, entirely possible. Jamo, what about you?
I'm going to go with Mr. Martin Lee because he's a tight ass and he probably doesn't pay any of his bills and the other 3 do.
I think Phil Moss probably gets the bonus point there for being the most creative, but it's not the real answer. Who's got a serious guess for us?
Apart from the obvious comment being that Martin Lee doesn't play football and the other 3 do, correct?
The odd one out here is actually Roy O'Donovan, as he's the only one that's actually got a licence. Martin Lee, of course, lost his Jets licence this week, while both Mohamed Toure and Josh Rawlins are both still only 16, while Roy is still happily driving, but probably not a Hyundai these days. Josh Rawlins was the youngest player, you might know, at the 2020 Asian Champions League, where he made his professional debut. Anyone know for a point who it was against?
Ulsan Hyundai.
Incorrect, Scotty. But top marks for going quickly and going hard. Anybody else? Mossy, I don't think squinting your eyes together helps, to be fair.
That's my eyes wide open.
I love how Jenna's just smiling into the camera, completely oblivious. Any advances on Ulsan Hyundai, which is not right?
Yokohama?
No, it's so good that everybody was paying such close attention to the region's premier sporting event at club level for clubs in this country. The answer is Shanghai Shenhua, and he played the full 90 minutes in the 3-3 draw. Just how young is Josh? Well, he wasn't even born until 2 weeks after Perth Glory won the last NSL Grand Final against Parramatta Power in 2004. His Glory teammate Diego Castro was already 22 and playing in La Liga for Malaga. Phil, talking of age, you were a sprightly 42-year-old coach when you made your Asian Champions League debut coaching the Mariners. Do you remember that? How did you feel?
Well, it was a long time ago, Simon, but no, I do remember it, and it was a fantastic experience, and it's a wonderful competition, the ACL. So, yeah, 42, wow, that seems like a long time ago now, but yeah, great experience.
How did you go in that opening campaign, Phil?
We did okay, actually. We were only a point, I think, away from getting through to the round of 16. We needed a result away to Sanfrecce Hiroshima midweek, and we copped a sucker punch late in the game, I think the 82nd minute. it put us out, and then we had to come back and play a grand final qualifier against Western Sydney Wanderers, and ran out of leagues, unfortunately.
You did indeed. Unfortunately, you did actually, though, finish bottom of the group, didn't you, despite those 2 wins. But, yeah, a couple of wins in Asia, what the Mariners would do for that these days. Good stuff, guys. Let's have a look at the early scoreboard with Hayley Routley. Who's ahead, Hayley, and who needs to raise their game?
All right, Simon, after the first round, it's even Stevens with quite a few missed opportunities in that round. It's 2-2 apiece.
It's a draw at the moment, and lots of open goals missed. Time to pick up your game, guys and girls. We move on to Who Are Ya? Who Are Ya? The round where we mash up the faces of 2 newsmakers, and the teams have to guess who they are and why they were in the news. First up, who are these dudes?
Mossy, help me out. I got one was Maddie Bryan. And the others, Ozils.
Go on. Oh, very, very good, Bubs. It is Matty Ryan, our Socceroos #1, and Mesut Ozil from Arsenal. For a bonus point, can you guess why they were making the headlines?
Because they're not leaving their clubs despite not playing.
Yeah, I think we can give you a point for that. Both have been frozen out of their Premier League squads. Phil, what do you think of Matty's omission from Brighton's first team?
Yeah, surprising. I think he'd played 126 of 127 games or something for Brighton, and then all of a sudden getting frozen out. My sources tell me that he hasn't really got the answers from the coaching staff that he's been seeking as to why, but there's no doubt that he needs to be playing football regularly, both for himself, his career, and for the Socceroos. And
great to see that his replacement, Robert Sanchez, is doing so well. He only conceded just the 3 goals against Wolves at the weekend. Meantime, scores of Arsenal fans also believe Ozil's omission from the squad isn't performance-based, but because he spoke out against the Chinese oppression of the Uyghur Muslims, with the Premier League keen to sweeten, not sour, their lucrative deals with China. And given Mesut's ability to upset the Chinese, it's perhaps surprising PM Scott Morrison hasn't offered to foot the bill to bring him to the A-League just yet. All right, let's move on to the next mashup. Who are they and what's the link?
Oh, that's me. I got that. That's Stajic and Milicic.
Wow, well done, Bubs.
Bubs, you are on the money again. 2 former Matildas coaches, Alen Stajic and Ante Milicic, now playing their trades in the A-League. What's the connection, though?
I actually think because Stadge has actually won a couple of games and Milicic hasn't.
They played each other last weekend, and Stadge won the chocolates.
There you go, Mossy. Another point for the Bubsy babes. Stajic and Milicic met in MacArthur's first home game in the technical zones, but Stadge upped the ante, if you like, by winning 2-0. Bubs, you had a bit of time with Stadge. He recalled you to the team for the 2015 Women's World Cup as well. How well has he made the switch to men's football, do you think?
That's the thing with Stadge, is that he's actually a football tragic. You know, he lives and breathes it. His wife is a known, you know, how do you say? She knows that she's second fiddle to football. Let's just say that. And you know, I think he's done pretty well. At the end of the day, he's a football coach, and how he manages his players is probably the same that he would as females. He just knows players really well and get the best out of them, I think.
Jenna, on the other hand, you had your Matildas debut with Ante Milicic after his move away from the men's national teams. How easily did he make the switch in the other direction, if you like?
Yeah, I mean, well, from my short-lived experience with him, I really loved working with him, and loved his professionalism and the way he just works the group, you know, on and off the field, just the language he uses, and how he controls the team on the field. So, you know, training and stuff. So I've no doubt that that the boys over there would be really enjoying their time with him as a coach, and I really hope to see him do well.
Jenna, who's tougher, football coaches or AFLW coaches?
I'm going to go football, just because, in my opinion, there's a lot more to it.
Okay.
I was going to say, Jen, you don't have to be nice to Milicic anymore. He doesn't have the job anymore.
How hard can it be to coach a sport where if you miss the target, you still get a point?
Ouch. Does Phil Moss get a point for that comment? I think he might do. Deep into the first half, it is time to check in with Hayley again to find out who is in danger of getting complacent. What's the score, Hayley?
Well, we've had a clean sheet from the Bubsy Babes that round. They're now leading 7 to the Jamo Tarts 2.
The Bobsy Babes, well on top. They won, of course, episode 1. Let's see if the Jamo Tarts can make a comeback. We've got time for one last attack before the break. This is Omni Headlines. Parts of these headlines are missing, like Newcastle Jets from the A-League season launch. 1 point to the team who can fill in the missing words or phrases, and maybe some cheeky bonus points for wrong answers that are better than reality. So first of all, what did Hakan Arslan show the referee to get himself sent off?
The same as Scott Jamieson, lip.
Jamo, you got a response to that?
No, I can't. I did the crime and I pay the time. So any abuse I'm taking, unfortunately.
I'm going to say sent off showing the referee he's...
there's a long pause here before his and whatever's coming next, Bubs.
Yeah, because I can only get rude answers only.
Okay, well, obviously nobody's going to be able to get this one, so let's have a look at what happened. Yep, Hakan Arslan was sent off for showing the ref an incorrect decision on his phone. Can you believe this? The Turkish Super League's Sivasspor captain found himself sent off for an early shower after shoving his mobile phone in the referee's face to show him a replay. No one really explained why there was a phone on the pitch, however. Ludicrous though that seems, just imagine if the on-field referee relied on footage from a tiny screen on the pitch to overturn their original decisions. Ludicrous.
Wouldn't know about that with the W-League, no VAR.
Right, next up, why is Raul Bobadilla facing a lengthy ban? Tell me your wrong answers first, please.
You really left me with nothing here, Simon. Football star facing lengthy ban after complaining to a referee about substitution.
Football star facing lengthy ban after sleeping with teammates' missus.
I'm not sure we can get away with that, but it's a good answer. You might get a bonus point for being creative. I like that. Has anybody got a stab at what might be the right answer?
Football star facing lengthy ban after two-footing the referee.
Well, not two-footing, but maybe the tripod has something to do with it. Let's have a look.
Hey, I was one question too.
You should have gone naughty then, Bubs. You should have gone naughty then.
I should have gone naughty here.
Yeah, football star facing a lengthy ban after flashing his manhood. We have some footage here for anyone who might be interested. And thankfully, Fox Sports high-quality coverage came to our rescue there with, yes, the coverage of the manhoods. Luckily for the Augsburg striker, the ban would have been a lot longer, but of course it is winter and it was a cold night. Talk about cocky footballers. Yeah, congratulations to Raul Bobadilla flashing his manhood. We have a long way to go here in Australia. We just got Michael Thwaites winter warmers when he got booked in the A-League. Next, an Aussie NBA star's footballing brother flew where and why?
I reckon it's Bogut's brother flew back to Croatia to get his dignity.
To get his dignity? Anybody else? Well, it could be worth a point. Anybody else want to have a bit of a stab at this?
Maybe Ben Simmons' brother flew to Philadelphia to take one of his 10 Rolls Royces that he has in his garage that I always see on his Instagram, something like that.
I actually think that's probably worth a point for creativity. Amazing that you know more NBA stars than you do A-League players. Anyone know what it was? Let's reveal. Yep. an Aussie NBA star's brother flew around the globe to play for Flat Earth FC to escape Melbourne's COVID lockdown and push on with his football career. Former Melbourne Victory youth prospect Maker has flown, that's his name, has flown to the other side of the globe, or rectangle, to play for Spain's 4th division club called Flat Earth FC. The side claims they are the first football club to represent an idea rather than a geographic location. Yeah, very cute guys, but the A-League has you beat on that one.
Sounded like you were making that up. What was his name? Maker.
Making that
So
up.
true. Yeah, Flat Earth players are asked to confirm their views on conspiracy theories before signing, so it's a real missed opportunity that's come a little bit too late for the recently retired Archie Thompson. And that brings us huffing and puffing to the halftime break, shrugging off the Fox Sports microphones as we stagger to the sheds. We've just got time for a quick look at the score with Hayley to find out who will get the halftime hairdryer. Hayley.
Well, Simon, the Jamo Tarts pulled one back in that round. It's Bubsy Babes 7, Jamo Tarts 3.
7-3. Awesome. Thanks, Hayley. And we'll be back in less time than it takes to kick a teacup into a star player's face. Well, here's a short commercial break from our partners who help us bring this to you. If you'd like to help us too, you could buy us a coffee at www.AGO2H.com. Every little bit helps. We plan to bring you this for free every week with as many coffee donations as you can throw at us. We want to bring you fresh new content you want in a new way that suits you, but we do need your support to continue to do it. So please don't be shy. We don't want a lot, just a little, whenever you can afford it. Just 1 or 2 coffees a month is plenty, but feel free to buy us more if you can. If you enjoy the show and want to see it improve, tag in a mate or two, give us a shout on social media, and buy us a coffee, please, or else we'll get Josip Gombau to commentate every game of the A-League. Yes, welcome back to part 2. It's time now for the fickle finger of fate to stop the wheel of misfortune in its tracks like a late tackle from Kevin Muscat. What's it got in store for us this week? Yes, it is star players in the wake of UK reality TV star Mark Wright from The Only Way is Essex, landing his first pro contract at the age of 33 with League Two side Crawley Town this month. We've taken a look at some other celebrities who fancied themselves in a pair of boots. So first up, who is this? Anyone fancy a crack at this? There might have been a clue in the way that I introduced that photograph.
Geez, it looks like Matty Ryan, to be fair.
I was thinking more Tommy Rogic, actually.
Is that their actual photo, or have you mashed them somehow?
No, that was an earlier round, Bubs. This is a real photo. Do try and keep up.
The only person I can think of is AFL legend Gary Lyon because of his eyebrows.
Just a clue, guys. This is a football show, so it's unlikely to be an AFL player.
So it's a movie star or a star from somewhere else that tried their hand at football.
There we go. We're going to show you the photo again.
Oh, that's Sean Connery.
Ta-da! Diddle-dum. Yes, his name is Sean Connery.
Well, hello there, money king.
And before he became James Bond, he played as a winger for his local side in Edinburgh, Fetlaw Amateurs, and later nearby Bonnyrigg Rose, and was even offered a contract by Sir Matt Busby to join Manchester United. Instead, of course, as we all know, he swapped his Bonnyrigg for a Bonnywig and Holyrood for Hollywood, and we never did get to see Bond it like Beckham. So for a bonus points, what number did he play?
7.
I was going to say 7 too.
It was too straightforward, wasn't it? It could only be 007. Well, number 7 anyway. So congratulations, Mossy, and indeed Bubs, for naming Sean Connery. Now let's move on to the next one. This could prove impossible.
I feel like Bubs is doing all the lead up and I'm tapping it in.
Any takers on this one? It's a bit of a risky business, but we will give a bonus point for the best wrong answer. There we go. She's got it again. It is, in fact, pint-sized Scientologist Tom Cruise, who played high school football or soccer in Canada before he didn't grow up. Next, name that tan. Quickest wins. The blue team is very quiet. Jamo, Jenna, come on.
I'm proving to be a horrible teammate here.
He's a cricketer. Mossy, tap it in. He's a cricketer.
Gavaskar.
s01e01 Gavaskar. You're not even in the right galaxy. Jamo, come on.
Either Miguel Iglesias.
Do you know what? We're going to give Jamo a point for that. It's actually Gloveman Julio Iglesias. A car crash put him in hospital and turned him from a keeper to a crooner when a nurse gave him a guitar to play with while he recuperated. Good story. For a bonus point, though, can you tell us what club he played for prior to his accident?
Flat Earth FC.
Very good, Mossy. Not the right answer. It's a very famous club.
Melbourne City.
Thanks, Jenna. Close but no cigar.
Barcelona?
No, it is not Barcelona. We're going to have to move on. Back then, he was singing to all the goals I've gloved before for Real Madrid Castilla, the Madridistas' B team in the Spanish capital. Now, and again, the clue is in my intro. Who the effing F is this effer?
Oh, that's easy. Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, good one.
There we go. Jamo gets on the board for the Jamo tarts. It is, of course, foul-mouthed Scott's TV chef Gordon Ramsay, who was chopping legs before he started chopping eggs. Finally, this bloke probably doesn't want to talk about this picture.
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart.
Jamo, you are spot on. It is Celtic daft.
He's a massive Celtic fan.
Rod Stewart.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. It's Celtic daft Sir Rod Stewart in a Rangers kit with former Blue Nose skipper John Greig for some unknown reason. For a final bonus point, where was celebrated tartan-clad Scotland fan Rod Stewart born?
Can we have some 21st century questions? I'm delighted to these.
Not a Rod Stewart fan, Jenna?
I don't know who he is.
I'm not sure, to be fair, I'm not sure you've known who anybody is in this show so far.
No, yeah, you're right.
Anybody want to hazard a guess as to where Rod Stewart was born?
New Zealand.
No, about 26,000 kilometres out, actually, Mossy.
Didn't he marry a Kiwi at some stage?
I think he married quite a few nationalities throughout his long marital career. The answer is Highgate in London, and you might know he was originally an Arsenal fan who actually trialled for Brentford as a team before switching allegiances to Celtic, so he could find out what winning felt like instead. Can you relate to that one, Jamo?
Yeah, no, what a wanker. It's only the blue teddy bears these days.
And that is at the end of the round on that lovely superfluous note from Jamo. Hayley, what's the score, please?
The Jamo Tarts pulled some back in that round, but there's still quite a bit of a gap. We've got Bubsy Babes on 10, Jamo Tarts on 6.
4 points in it as we go into our next round. Now to the segment we call We Don't Know What You're Doing. We show the teams a video and they have to guess what happened next. There's bonus points to be had for creative wrong answers again, so please speak up without fear. Let's go. Video number 1, please. Simple back pass to the goalkeeper. What happened next? Jenna, Phil?
Blowing a gale, and the ball went up in the air and blew back into his own net.
He striked it from all the way back here, went top left, 93rd minute, Canberra United win.
Let's see if you're correct. I think Phil is the closest. Let's see what really happened.
Oh, Radetzky! Oh my goodness! What an error from Lucas Radetzky. It's a fairly regulation clearance and he sliced it into his own net.
Yeah, pretty standard clearance, turning disastrous from Lukas Radetzky for Bayer Leverkusen against Arminia Bielefeld in the German Bundesliga. Fortunately, they did still win the game in the end, but not a night he'll want to remember. Does that sort of video give you a few nightmares, Bubs, as a keeper?
Oh, absolutely. It happened once. It never happened again. And I never heard the end of it from Heather Garriock because she got put on the team sheet as a own goal because it slipped onto my foot.
You've never exchanged Christmas cards since. Coach killers, you're right, Mossy.
Jets away, Simon. I think you might have been commentating.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah. Who was the goalkeeper that day? Was it Ben Kennedy or?
Justin Passfield for the Mariners.
Justin Passfield, it was indeed. Next up, one from local shores. What happened next? Maybe it's Justin Passfield. Who knows?
After doing most of his work down the left.
From the A-League action this weekend, Sydney leading just before half-time against the Knicks. What happened next? Jenna, even you must surely know this one.
We don't know.
The lights.
We were watching it and it went blank and we're like, what the... And then they've come back and they've equalised and we're like, what the hell?
I've got the answer. All Simon Hill's Christmases came at once.
Not true, and I certainly wouldn't wish that on any commentator, that's for sure. I think we might have mentioned this once or twice already in the show, but let's see how it all actually unfolded.
After doing most of his work down the left, here comes Payne making a lung-bursting run. And the delivery for Baratovic! And there is the equaliser. Right on half-time, it's Mirza Muratovic for Wellington.
Yeah, Fox Sports hitting a big technical glitch just as Phoenix scoring, blacking out Mirza Muratovic's strike. It was half an hour later before they finally managed to track down some CCTV footage to let the fans at home see the goal at last. As the old saying goes, what happens in Wollongong stays in Wollongong. Sydney, of course, went on to win the game 2-1 with two worldies of their own, perfectly captured by the cameras.
Scored too many A-League goals. Here's Callum Neuenhoff. Luke Bratton again! Oh my word! Two super goals from Sydney FC.
At the end of this round, how's our scores looking, Hayley?
Well, Simon, surely the Jamo Tarts are seeing red by this point as the Bubsy Babes have extended their lead even further. It's 12 points to 6.
12 points to 6, but we do have a round full of points to come. The ref is checking his watch, the coach on the sideline is tapping his watch, and the crowd is whistling. It's squeaky bum time. Teams can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat or defeat from the jaws of victory. We got 10 quickfire questions, 1 point for correct answers, -1 for wrong answers, 2 bonus points if you score a hat-trick of 3 correct answers in a row. Goodness me, that's confusing. It is all to play for. Holy Rowley, I hope you've got your calculator at the hand. Time to dig deep for one last big push. So hands on the buzzers, if indeed we have buzzers. Let's go. Question 1. Who scored the first goal of the new A-League season?
Mark Milligan.
No, it wasn't him.
There's been that many games cancelled, Simon. I can't remember what the first game was.
Well, you should know, Scotty. You should know.
Was it Connor Metcalf?
Goodness me, I had to steer you through it. But yes, it was indeed Connor Metcalf who scored the winner for Melbourne City against Brisbane Roar at Dolphin Stadium. Question 2. Who scored the first goal of the new W-League season?
Michelle Heyman.
Incorrect.
Jenna, was it the Sydney Derby?
Princess Sabini.
Was it? No.
That was Nevin, Courtney Nevin.
Yeah. Courtney who?
Mine.
There we go.
That's not a point for you. That's not a point for you.
Who do the points go to there, Mr. Adjudicator?
Half and half. Come on.
Okay, we're going to give you a point each because Jenna, you got the first name right and Bubs, you got the second name right, so a point each. Question 3. Michelle Heyman returned to the W-League with Canberra United after a year-long hiatus. How many goals did she score on return?
Hey, 2. Oh, she's got a hat-trick. Sorry.
Point for Jenna. A little bit too late, Bubs, on your buzzer, although I haven't heard a buzzer as yet in this round. Question 4. The match between Manchester City and who was postponed in the Premier League due to COVID-19 concerns last week?
I'm going to say Fulham.
Incorrect.
Tottenham.
Incorrect. I can give you a clue. It was a sort of a northwest derby.
I don't want to risk losing points.
Oh, look, I'll have a snap. Was it Newcastle?
No, it was actually Everton. So top marks for not knowing geography as well as not knowing football. Question 5. Which former Socceroo sued Brisbane Roar over an alleged $170,000 unpaid insurance entitlement?
Holman.
Correct. Point for the Jamo Tarts. Question 6. Central Coast Mariners won consecutive games in the A-League for the first time in how many years?
Hang on, Bubs. Before you answer this, we need clarification.
Pre-Mossy era.
Is it back-to-back games to kick off an A-League season, or is it back-to-back away games?
My script says back-to-back games.
13 years.
You're wrong by about a decade.
23?
23 years. I said you were a decade out, and you've gone the wrong decade. Jenna, a clue is that the A-League didn't exist 23 years ago. Bubs.
3.
We got there in the end. Jeez, it's like pulling teeth.
It's been 13 years since the Mariners won back-to-back games to kick off an A-League season.
That is correct, Phil, but unfortunately that wasn't the question. But you still get the point because Bob's got there after everybody else had answered incorrectly and I'd grown a beard. Question 7. Which club recently renamed their stadium Stadio Diego Armando Maradona? Bob's.
Napoli.
Correct. That was a bit more straightforward. Question 8. How many goals does Sam Kerr currently have for Chelsea in the FA Women's Super League Golden Boot race?
Say 7.
You are correct. Point for the Jamo Tarts. 7 goals for the Chelsea striker. Question 9. Which goalkeeper last month became the first to ever keep a Champions League clean sheet in 4 separate decades?
Oh, Gigi Buffon.
It is Gigi Buffon, although Bubs could well equal that record at some particular point in time. And finally, question 10. MacArthur marked their A-League debut with a win last week. Western United did the same thing, you might remember, last season. But who were Western United's opponents?
Phoenix.
Wellington Phoenix it was. A very important point potentially for the Jamo Tarts, and that is it. The whistle has blown, the fans are running on the pitch, the refs are getting a police escort. Hayley, what is the final score, please?
Well, whilst Jamo managed to stay with us the entire game, it wasn't enough. Bubsy Babes take it again, 14-9.
14-9.
Bub should have got a bonus point for the way she said Gigi Buffon.
Congratulations again to the Bubsy Babes. Commiserations to the Jamo Tarts. Not been a great week for Jamo. Thanks to all our guests for joining us tonight. Jenna McCormick, Phil Moss, and of course our team captains Scott Jamieson and Melissa Barbieri. Before we go though, some late news. Concern grows for a young Australian sportsman as he's spotted hitchhiking on the A27 near the south coast of England. After a weekend of mishaps, Fox Sports insists they are fully committed to investing in their football coverage and invite A-League players to get up close and personal with their latest whiz-bang TV technology. And as the A-League prepares for a brave new independent era, mainstream media holds out the olive branch and agrees to call the game football in its coverage. Good night, and don't forget to buy us a coffee.